Hello and welcome to the Beautiful Boycast, the most irregular, regular podcast on the web, syndicated at a whole 0 stations across the nation. Today, we are going to be discussing the Switch, and I am your host today, Rick, and also we have with us...
My name is Nathaniel. I guess I'm the married one. That's what makes me special.
I'm the pretty and smart one.
Hi, my name is Dakota.
That's Dakota. He's the rebel type.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
My name's Jamie and I own a Vita.
That's
a really good opening.
And he is
because he's a joke.
He's
He's
the awkward feminine trap type.
All right. What's on today's docket, Rick?
Well, first off, we're going to be starting out about the Switch's reveal versus the Wii U's reveal, and why the Switch's reveal was a much better success than the Wii U's reveal. And does anyone even remember the Wii U's E3 reveal?
Mm-hmm. No, it was super forgettable.
I sure do. I remember E3 2011. They revealed the initial prototype, and I remember it because the gamepad at the time didn't have analog sticks. It had circle pads.
Yeah, it had circle pads.
It had circle pads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the Switch reveal 2011.
No, Wii U reveal.
The Wii U. I apologize. The Wii U reveal 2011. I honestly don't even think they had any software shown at the time. It was just like a concept.
Wasn't it just a video of, because I remember the Shuriken, like the ninja demo.
Yeah, that was part of it.
And there is a huge problem with, I am your MLG pro gamer, and even when they first revealed the Wii U, even I did not know that was an actual console. I thought it was a controller for the Wii. I legit thought that. I figured out much.
Yeah, everyone confused it with an accessory.
But
so, it's just a tablet, and you're like, well, it's Wii Point 2.
But I have like a whole catalog of gaming news websites that I visit at least twice a day, and even I thought that was a controller at the first glance, and so I can't even imagine how Billy's mom checking out Walmart had no idea what the Wii actually was.
Most people didn't.
You know, a lot of people were confused too. Went to the store, wanting the Wii U, ended up taking home a Wii, realizing their mistake.
From the outset, you got to remember, you're making the Wii U in 2008, 2009, probably whenever development started on the system. You've got to be thinking, this Wii is absolutely amazing. It's our best-selling console ever. How do we capitalize on that 4 or 5 years from now? But the problem is, they botched it, in all honesty. Nintendo botched their entire marketing.
Because the selling point of it was basically a tablet with 2 Wii motes.
Oh yeah, that was the prototype.
But then they show it and they're like, okay, it's the Wii U, and you're like, oh, the same naming what is it? Is it just a new model?
The name combined with the focus on the controller was a perfect story.
Did we not see the system until launch year? Did they wait until that E3 to show the system?
I want to say that's what they did. They showed the
and
controller first.
It honestly really doesn't even look much different than a Wii. Maybe a bit rounder.
They re-revealed it, technically. In 2012. That's basically what it was. Because they came back out because they showed the official gamepad.
We heard about Project Cafe for a while before they actually showed it.
Yeah, they showed the real gamepad. They showed the system. They kind of re-revealed it at E3 2012, which, if you don't know or don't remember, that was the last time Nintendo ever did a press conference at E3.
Oh yeah, because they started doing their own.
They started doing
really
the direct.
bad.
They started doing the directs after that, and then a couple of last year, I think, in 2016, they didn't do anything.
Because they do them all the time, like monthly, whenever. And I think that's probably a better way to go about it too.
Yeah, but it's just like,
because instead of putting everything on one day,
spread it out throughout the year.
And they did that re-reveal. But in all honesty, I don't think this would have made a huge difference in the long scheme. But at least at the beginning, they should have just called it the Wii 2.
They should have called it something entirely different.
Yeah, adding the entire Wii name to it was a mistake.
Because they were riding off of that. They were riding off the fact that the Wii was really selling well.
Okay, if I remember correctly, when they first officially unveiled the Wii U, they didn't even show the actual console until the very end of the little spotlight, the little trailer thing for it.
No, that's what we were saying. They didn't reveal the actual system until the following year.
Yeah.
When they fully showed it. They're like, here it is, guys.
It's obvious that the system was not the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was more about the novelty than the system.
It was always about the controller. It was always about the controller, and the controller wasn't even that great.
Okay, to be fair though, that was what kind of pushed people on the Wii. Because they were like, oh, it's cool, it's unique.
It was the motion controls, and it was hot, and it was new, and they tried to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work out too well.
But they captured lightning in a bottle again, this time with the Switch.
It's an evolution of a concept that they've been working on since the GameCube.
Yeah.
And it was an evolution of it even from directly straight from its reveal, which was instantly better than the Wii U's reveal. Like, from that little... direct they did for it. You instantly knew what the Switch did.
Well, because the noise. They kept telling the noise.
That was a year ago.
Yeah.
That was 1 year ago from roughly now.
Yeah.
We're recording.
Yeah, because they dropped that. And they were like, hey, it's coming out in a couple months.
Yeah. There's all the audio sounds that, like, all the clicks and stuff. It made you know exactly what it did. You saw the guy set it down and pick it back up. You knew exactly what this thing was.
Yeah, and you didn't have to say anything, really.
Yeah.
Because you were like, it's portable.
If I remember right,
the video was no
if I
talking
remember
at
right,
all.
there was no dialogue whatsoever. And I don't think there was any text in that teaser
no, it was just
whatsoever.
people playing it, taking it and doing things.
Yeah, that's all it was.
And you were able to figure out everything that it can do just from watching it.
Yeah.
And that's...
And in my opinion, that was perfect for what they needed to show for the Switch.
And, sort of go back to the original Wii U launch, the Wii U, the initial reveal, we didn't see any software, any new software, I should say. We saw concepts. Kind of the same thing here. We saw Mario for the first time. We saw Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey. We saw what would become Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We saw what would become Splatoon 2. And we already knew about Zelda. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it was just... It wasn't anything new. It wasn't anything crazy.
We saw ARMS. It's new and crazy.
Did we? I don't think we saw ARMS. Did we?
A reveal, yeah.
I don't think we did.
I don't
did
think
we
ARMS
not?
was at the reveal. I think ARMS was at E3.
We'll put a disclaimer.
Maybe.
It wasn't. They didn't show it at E3. They showed it, I think, at the full Switch launch in January of 2017. I think that's when they revealed it. But we'll make a note. But that was one thing. It's like we're not seeing any crazy new game concepts that we have never seen before this very singular moment. But this hardware looks cool.
It runs smooth.
It runs smooth. It's basically what Nintendo's been trying to do since the Super Game Boy.
Yeah, it's completely foolproof. You just set it down and pick it back up. That's it.
And the time frame is just almost not even there.
There's no menu or anything that you swap over. You just literally just go pick it up.
I mean, that was really cool.
I guess that'll take us right into our impressions of the Switch itself and its features and all that, which we kind of already started to touch on.
I got a whole 2 games.
I have 6 now. I've played 4 of them. And I have a digital game, but it's not exclusive to the Switch. So.
My impressions of the Switch is that I fell in love with it as soon as I used it. Like, I love the system sounds, all the beeps and boops and the little maraca sound when you go to the settings and stuff. All the UI sounds are great.
Oh, it's a very clean UI.
It's super.
Super clean.
I mean, that's not new for Nintendo standards, but it is nice.
Even the UI has that Nintendo polish with all the little beeps and boops for all everything's fun to click on.
So like with the Wii, you get this kind of like childish, cartoony, television-ish.
It was
UI.
It was channel based.
Yeah, it was channel based. Then you get to the Wii U and you're like, it's Mii's.
Well, Miiverse was the
you get the point.
It was the first thing,
and then they're like,
if it even is there anymore.
I don't know.
No, Miiverse is dead.
Miiverse is dead. So
dead.
I haven't even turned it on since they shut it down.
No one needs to touch it.
Like for the Wii U UI, it could kind of, if you took off Nintendo on it, you couldn't necessarily tell that it was made by Nintendo.
But it was thematically there.
Yeah, but for the Switch's UI, you can tell that it's a Nintendo. Just like you don't even have to know. Like, that's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got simple, easy to understand icons at the bottom. You can scroll through your games just very cleanly.
Almost like Apple. In a sense. I mean, that's kind of how... I mean, I've always seen Nintendo as the Apple of gaming. That's what you get.
The sounds just make me so happy.
And the sounds,
that's one of my favorite parts of the UI.
But there's still, as of this recording, still no music in the eShop.
Oh, yeah.
That's sad.
Have they still not added music?
I checked it the other day. There's still no music.
Oh my god, that's a shame.
I mean... Wii Shop channel is still one of the Wii Shop channel is still one of the best pieces of video game music ever, and the eShop on the Wii U would change constantly.
And another kind of con about the Switch is that it's still using friend codes, even if they said they wouldn't.
Yeah, I feel like from a hardware standpoint, it's a step in the right direction, but from online,
online's totally busted.
Online's still busted, and there's still some things that are very 2005-ish. About the system that feel like, this voice chat. That's still a mess.
Just unnecessary.
But what about any other impressions outside of software?
I played Zelda for an hour and it was fine.
Outside of software.
Jamie, can you not listen?
Whatever. No.
I really like the controllers. They're small, but I like them. I like the idea of them too.
The Pro Controller is really nice.
Yeah, the Pro Controller is one of my favorite controllers. I love I love how big the face buttons are. They're amazing. I love everything about the Pro Controller. It's one of my favorite ones.
We got one in front of us here. And USB-C.
Oh, USB-C is nice.
And it's the same cord that you use on the system too, so I think that's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm not a huge fan of the Joy-Cons, but I think it's because they're so small.
Yeah, you get used to a Wii U or a Wii controller.
I really want them to make a left Joy-Con with a real D-pad.
That would be nice.
And I want them to make a right Joy-Con that has the right stick in the Wii U placement, because I think it's for how small the Joy-Con is, I think it's too low and it's uncomfortable to use the right stick for me sometimes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the nice thing is eventually they could.
And see, that's the great thing about the Joy-Cons. They can just make a new controller and you can just slap it on there. It's amazing.
Hori and it charges while you're putting it there. And
yeah, I'd say Hori will probably eventually come out with something. Something that allows you to do that.
And it has been used a lot so far, because, there's not a lot of games yet so far, but the HD Rumble's really nice.
The HD Rumble is nice. I feel like we're going to get like the equivalency of a Star Fox 64 that uses the HD Rumble, like that original.
Indie game just came out, uses it really, really well. Dig 2, SteamWorld Dig 2. Apparently the HD Rumble on that is just fantastic.
It's really nice. I think I'm the only one that's played any significant amount of it, but I really like the HD Rumble and 1-2 switch. Like for the
that one was because we played it at
a little bit. Yeah, it was. I thought it was okay. Yeah.
So, anyone have anything else to say about the Switch?
So I was going to say, like, when I bought the Switch, I was really surprised at how much stuff they gave me. Right? They gave me the whole dock.
You have so many pieces of plastic to open up.
That's true.
Yes.
But the cool thing of it, you're like $300 for a system, and then you're like, but I get everything.
Yeah, you get all sorts of stuff.
After seeing the price of the accessories, you're grateful.
Well, listen,
the box is so skinny too.
Yeah, it's a tiny box. Everything's there.
It's compact.
Yeah,
I packed mine up, and I mean, it's nothing.
We have a Switch right here on the table.
There's a Switch on the table. There's a Switch over on the counter. You throw it in a small baggie, and you pack up your extras.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the controllers literally fit in the system.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you just attach your controllers to the system.
So,
but I like that. I like the. They knew people would want to put the controllers together a little bit closer and play it on the TV, so they give you that little weird not charging.
It's a
cradle thing.
Yeah, it's a cradle. I don't know if you call it a cradle. It's a controller dock. Another one.
Yeah, it's basically a controller dock.
Reminds me of the thing that came with Kid Icarus on 3DS.
Sort of.
Oh yeah, the little thing where you set the.
I know.
Yeah, that no one used.
I know a lot of people complained that the one that came with the system it didn't charge your controllers, but. I've never had an issue, I think, because the batteries are so good. I mean, the batteries, at least on the Joy-Cons, I think are pretty solid.
I think the Joy-Con battery life is about 20 hours.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to be playing 20 hours. And then what you're going to do is
you just put it back on the Switch.
You're literally just going to put it back in its stand. Yeah. Because it's a stand.
Maybe kids.
Maybe, where they wouldn't bring it up. Yeah. But,
Well, I mean, and that also sort of brings up the question.
Well, I mean, if you're taking it with travel, you're not going to worry about it.
Maybe.
Maybe you wouldn't just take the dock, you'll just take
the controllers charge on the Switch, too. So if you
that's the thing.
If you're traveling, they're going to be on the Switch.
Yeah.
So
and the Pro Controller as well. Before I say that, another thing nice about the Joy-Cons is that they don't start charging from the system's battery until the Joy-Cons themselves are dead. So it doesn't drain your
battery constantly. Yeah,
it doesn't.
A lot less continual usage.
That's smart.
It's actually pretty wonderful.
Yeah, it actually won't start pulling from the Switch until the Joy-Cons themselves die.
But I guess speaking of batteries, the Switch's battery itself,
it's kind of poopy, but
it's
good for what it is.
It's kind of It feels I think that's probably the number one improvement that I think anybody wants to see in a version 2.0, a Switch XL, if you will.
One thing that does have a good battery that I was about to touch on, though, is the Pro Controller. It has like a 40-hour battery life.
Not as good as the Wii U Pro Controller.
The Wii U Pro Controller is ridiculous. That's dumb. No one should ever try to reach that again. That's too hard.
I do feel like that's probably the one area that when they're thinking about, because they're going to make a version 2.0. I think that's
like 2 years, probably.
Well, because they made the Wii like revision 2 or whatever.
They made a handful. They never made any that substantially changed the hardware.
They only did one. They made the Wii Mini.
Well, they made like a version 2.0 with no GameCube support.
That was the Wii Mini.
No, they made another one without GameCube.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
There are some that do not have the GameCube controller.
Then they did one. There was just the Wii, but no GameCube, and then the Mini.
I thought it was only the Wii Mini that didn't do GameCube.
Well, it's because it kind of snuck it out. But you've got to think it's not just a home console; it's also a handheld, and every Nintendo handheld gets 4 or 5 revisions.
Just look at the 3DS.
There's definitely going to be a Switch Lite with a better battery life,
or Switch Pocket. Going way back. Or Switch Micro.
Switch Micro. Switch Micro. It can fit in your hand. It's the size of a phone.
It's a 3-inch
screen. We're in the mobile market, guys.
It's a 3-inch screen.
You can play all of your favorite GBA. You can play all of your favorite GBA games on it.
Introducing the Sony Xperia Play.
Oh.
Yeah, but battery, I think that's going to be the number one thing. And I've wanted a dedicated handheld version for a while. One that doesn't necessarily need a dock or anything. It's just a handheld Switch.
I think they'll end up selling a SKU without a dock, but I don't think they'll make a handheld like you do not have the option of playing it docked. I don't think they'll make one where you can't play it docked.
I would agree with you, but I feel like the Switch is a little too flimsy for that, and they definitely want to get into that 2DS market, that kid-centric, cheap market.
Well, the 3DS is never going to die, so
it's going to die.
No, it's not.
We've killed it.
But they could just, they could make a more rugged Switch and just make a new dock for it. I just mean that there's not going to be a Switch that you can't play dock.
Oh yeah, no, there will never be a.
Because that's the point. I mean, that'd be
no, there will never
like
be one
handheld.
Can't
because the Switch is the point is you can switch between.
Yeah, they'll probably make one where you need a new dock, but there won't be a only handheld version.
Yeah,
I mean, we need a new dock. I think we need a new dock.
We will eventually, I think. I mean, I don't know.
We could get a slim dock.
I don't know what all specifically goes into the dock, but
the dock is not a lot.
No, I mean it's a piece of plastic.
The mechanics is not a lot. For $90, it's a lot.
Nintendo going to charge you a lot of money for that, though.
Introducing the Switch Dock Pro 4K X,
the 4K Pro Dock.
But again,
downloads more RAM to your Switch.
I think what we can all agree on is we like the Switch. We like what it offers. There's always room for improvement.
I love basically everything about the hardware side of the Switch, besides a few weird features like friend code still being a thing and the voice chat being stuck to your phone. But otherwise, I pretty much love everything about it.
Yeah, but that's the things you love Nintendo for.
Because
their fuck ups. Their fuck ups. They're like, you try.
That's not the things I love Nintendo for. That's the things that I'm Nintendo for.
Yeah. I tolerate it.
We just tolerate it because we love everything else they do.
Yes.
Well, because they do everything else really well, I think.
And so now we're going to move on to software because everyone's getting a little bit lit. Now we're getting hard. But, so Breath of the Wild, how much do you like it and how much do you also love it?
I played like 90 hours and I only did like 2 of the beasts.
So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
because I just go. No, I've never beaten it.
I thought Dakota had finished it. Well, but we
I'm fine with it.
Me and Nathaniel have finished it.
I finished the game.
Dakota has played enough to where he might as well have finished it. Jamie,
I played like an hour.
I mean, I could go in if I remember the controls. I could go in and get the 2 last bosses and do the final boss.
And Jamie played for like an hour for the very first time.
Like right before this, I played for an hour.
And I think you grew to like it, even if you didn't love it.
I mean, it was fun. It was fine. I was having fun with it. I was just messing with you guys for the most part. It's cool. It's intuitive.
It is.
You can do things and they just happen. It's great.
See, I'm not a huge Zelda fanboy. I'm never like, oh
I'm
my
not.
God, Zelda and everything.
I'm not, says the guy that
yeah, you're not a Zelda fan.
No, I'm not a Zelda fanboy.
Because I remember you didn't like Skyward Sword at all. You played like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I played it a little bit. And then just because I played Legend of Zelda, I bought, and I have the third one, third one on order. The Hyrule Historia Arts and Artifacts. I bought both of them. Yeah. Actually, my first one came in today. So
surprisingly deep.
Yeah.
Says the guy wearing a Zelda hat right now.
But yeah, I'm not a huge Zelda fanboy, but Breath of the Wild
is really good.
It's good.
That's one of my favorite games. It's top 10.
It's an excellent. Yeah, it's a top.
Right next to Legend of Dragoon. Yeah,
it's a top 10 video game. I'm gonna say Zelda's my favorite video game series of all time. I think that much is kind of obvious. I think Breath of the Wild is fantastic. It's the best. It's maybe the best Zelda
game.
Video game, but it's also like the worst recent Zelda from a story and lore standpoint.
Oh, okay. Story, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I heard it was worse,
but
I was
think
like,
about it.
wait, what you saying?
Right. Okay. So
it's a sandbox, and sandbox games generally have poor stories.
Okay, but that might be true. But think about all of the crap sandboxes we've had to deal with until we get this, and we're like, this is actually fun.
I was so sick and fatigued of open worlds. That's all everything is open world.
I mean, that's what Mass Effect.
Yeah, and then Mass Effect open world, then Andromeda sucked. But then Breath of the Wild comes in and is like, I'm going to show Nintendo, this is our first try with open world. We're going to show all of you how it's done. Bam! Best game of all time.
And they just polished it. They kept polishing it because I don't know if you guys remember like reading or listening to some of like the development stuff. And they were like, they started showing off the scale of the world. And they were like, yeah, you can do stuff from this point to this point. And it was quite a distance. It was like a whole screen distance. And they're like, and we're pushing it back. And you're like, what? You're pushing it back? And they're like, we want to add more stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to come out in 2014, wasn't it?
And I was like, dude,
originally,
you're telling me right now we're pushing it back a little bit and we're adding so much more stuff.
Zelda does, at least Breath of the Wild, for Zelda from the original Zelda 1 until like Link Between Worlds, it was always you do A to B, B to C, C to D. You
unlock this item and you go here to do
That's how it works.
You only had the one way to solve it.
And then with the Breath of the Wild, they give you A, B, C, D, E right at the beginning of the game, and then everything else for the rest of the game uses all those same tools, but you just kind of come up with however you can mash them together to make it work.
Like a lot of the problems you come up to, you can solve just a ton of different ways.
It's a core design that works in the theming of the game. You just
go
adventure.
Do what you want to do.
And I think because of that, and I still love Breath of the Wild, I still don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's obviously in my top 10 games of all time now. It'll probably be my favorite game of the year. I don't think there's anything that's going to beat it. I still feel like we're missing a bit of that balance between great story, great gameplay, and great adventure.
And the only thing Breath of the Wild was missing was story, because all those flashback scenes sucked.
Yeah.
Well, we saw them all before even launch.
Well, I didn't watch the trailers. I avoided them, but even still, it sucked.
Yeah, and hopefully the DLC will fix that.
But you're also saying like, okay, well, what we've been getting is mediocre games, mediocre story. They're just kind of filler, and they're like 100 hours of just boring shit. And then you get Zelda, and you're like, this is 100 hours of me just having fun.
I wouldn't be that pessimistic.
No, but like that's the thing. Like, we have so many sandbox games, and you're just like, this is the same game.
Well, that's like
you play one Ubisoft open world game, you've played them all.
Yeah, I mean, open world fatigue is a real thing.
And then Breath of the Wild comes in and cleans all that up with a greater than 100% attach rate, which is, I don't know if that's ever going to happen again, but...
Yeah, Breath of the Wild definitely... I mean, it almost feels like... I don't think I've played any open world games since then. Since I played through it a couple months ago, but it definitely is like... Even from a design standpoint, this is so well made. This is so well done.
It's well thought out.
It's like, how do we go back to these
other
open world games that are more
almost shovelware?
Well,
I mean, that's what they feel like. It's the same game. It's the same experience.
It definitely feels more
different
like
backgrounds.
It feels slightly more linear.
I feel like Zelda, and I think it even started with Witcher 3. We're going to start to see this ripple effect in open world games in the future. They're going to kind of learn from this, hope for the better. Yeah. Hopefully.
I mean, Witcher almost felt like the pinnacle of the old school style.
It out Bethesda.
And then Zelda's this
didn't have the bugs though.
No.
If it didn't have the bugs, it can't out Bethesda.
Well, they have quality.
And
they have a QA.
I don't know. I think you're the only one who actually did it, Rick. You did Horizon and then Zelda.
Oh yeah,
And then
Yeah.
Mass
Dropped
Effect.
Horizon.
I got
You did all of those back to back.
I got Horizon, Andromeda, and Zelda all on release day, and
Yeah,
I played them all back to back.
Yeah, you dropped Horizon though, right?
I dropped Horizon. I didn't finish it until months later. I just finished it like last month or so, I think. And Andromeda, I did finish before Zelda dropped, and I hated Andromeda. And then I went to Breath of the Wild, and it was just like, this is the biggest breath of fresh air I've ever gotten. Because I played two open world games back to back, and then going to Zelda, it's just, it was a wonderful time.
Yeah, for like critics though, because they're like, we have to sit down, we have to watch it, we have to do everything and review it and whatever, and then they're just like, I hate it. It's the same thing over and over, right? But fans, they're like, okay, well, we can experience it, we can do it at our leisure, right?
Yeah.
But then when Zelda comes out, people are like, this is actually enjoyable again.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing.
Again,
That's
it's a
the
breath
thing.
of fresh air.
Yeah. I mean, not to
Zelda,
completely
breath of
pun,
fresh air.
not to completely pun it, right? But like
you pull
straight
up,
up.
yeah, you pull up in your map and
There's not icons
there's
assaulting you.
There's not icons everywhere
And
unless you've discovered them.
No, I even turned that off.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
and
even have
that's
icons
part
on
of it.
And I love it. I love it. I don't like have a cluttered UI, dude. I'm just there to enjoy the
But
world.
if I don't stop this, we'll just talk about Breath of the Wild for the next 5 hours. So
Yeah,
it
was definitely it's an amazing game. I think it could have been out on Wii U last year.
Well, I mean, it was.
I mean, I think last fall.
Oh,
it could have
Zelda
been a
was
Wii U
clearly
game.
ready to go,
And
in
they
the
pushed
fall,
it back.
But they just held it.
And part of me wonders if maybe this original Wii U version was better than what we.
Do you remember the
finally
tech
got.
demo that they showed for it?
But they never really showed too much. That's
No,
the
they
thing.
showed the tech
the
demo
world
that
was
was like
pretty.
the day-night
world
cycle.
the world looked nice and everything, but there wasn't anything to do.
And also part of me is like, what could it have been that magnum opus the Wii U needed? Because think about it, what was the last big Wii U game to come out before the Switch? Freaking
Smash.
no! Oh God, no! Paper Mario Color Splash.
Well,
That was the last big one.
Is that
I
a
never
big
even played
game?
that.
I bought it, and we played like a couple hours of it.
Hey,
and
don't
it was-
worry, guys. I did play through it. It's garbage. It's not Paper Mario. So let's move
Yeah,
on.
that certainly wasn't.
All right,
Paper Mario.
so moving on.
But how good could Breath of the Wild have been if it wasn't on Switch? We may never know. But as a launch game,
Best launch game of all time.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have loved it on Wii U in late 2016.
That was the whole reason I bought the Switch.
Oh, that's
Literally it. Like
that's everybody else. That's the
Yeah.
tagline. Play it for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it was. Hey, get a Switch, get the Breath of the Wild, get the Sheikah Slate edition, and just have fun.
But
And that's what I
anyways, moving on from Breath of the Wild, we got to. We'll talk about this for the rest of the time. Any other Switch software that anyone really wants to mention? Yeah, as much as I love the Switch, I've only got 2 games for it right now. Well, I've got 3 with Odyssey today. We're recording this on the day Odyssey releases.
Way to date us, Rick. Shit.
Hey, gotta date the podcast somehow. This podcast is gonna be awful. But I haven't gotten to play Odyssey yet. But excluding that, I've only got 2 Switch games. And as much as I love it, I haven't played very much of it. I've got Splatoon 2 and Zelda, and that's it.
Sorry.
And as far as something to say about Splatoon 2, I don't have much to say. I didn't ever play the first Splatoon. But even to me, it's obvious. It's just Splatoon, but again, it's good, it's fun, it's Splatoon. That's about all I have to say about it.
Splatoon was fun.
It's still a good game. I think too many people, whenever they say that, they say it's the same multiplayer, which, whatever, that's every multiplayer shooter, I think. Campaign's good, though. Campaign is different.
That was actually really fun.
The campaign was fun.
On Splatoon 1, I really enjoyed it.
Salmon Run is good. I think at launch it was kind of janky, but they've got it out more.
I should also say I've pretty much exclusively have played Splatoon 2 multiplayer. I've barely touched the single player, and I haven't played
Oh, you're
Salmon
missing
Run
out.
at all.
Oh yeah, no.
You're missing out.
If you're playing Splatoon 2, play everything. Play through the campaign. Play multiplayer. I've probably played the least amount of the just competitive multiplayer. I've played mostly Salmon Run, I think.
That's pretty much all I've played.
And it's
I mean, it's fun, but the interesting thing about Splatoon, from like the interviews and all that kind of stuff, was that the world is just so cool.
yeah.
Like you have an actual scientist, a squid scientist.
I
talking
love
about
the
it.
Splatoon universe.
See, like that. Yeah, that's the cool thing. And you go into the story mode, and you're just like, it's so fun.
As someone who played Splatoon on the original Wii U, I probably put 20 total hours into it.
I probably played, probably a bit more.
I mean, probably close to that if you played through the single player and played some multiplayer.
I don't think I've played 20 hours, but like I said, all I've played is multiplayer.
the thing that gets me, I kind of miss Miiverse.
Really?
I miss Miiverse.
I miss Miiverse so much.
I miss Miiverse on Splatoon.
Okay. I need this to
It's still there in Splatoon 2, but it's not the same.
Just to roll back a little bit to Wii U versus Switch, I miss Miiverse a lot. I love Miiverse. It was great. I miss it on
Why
Switch.
can't Metroid crawl?
Why can't Metroid crawl? That's lost forever now.
And we kind of skipped a couple of games. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is...
I didn't play it.
Well, it's a port.
I played Mario
it's a
Kart 8 and
port.
I really enjoyed it.
I love Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just a port.
I was going to say, I want to mention Mario Rabbids. Such a fantastic
Well,
idea.
hold on. Let's get there in a moment.
No,
Uh,
I want to just
but
jump.
I'm not a super mega fan of Mario Kart. I think it's fun, but I never like paying $60 for Mario Kart, so I never picked up.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's definitely a stopgap for Mario Kart 9 or Nintendo Kart or whatever.
Now, when you played 8, did you like it? Did you find it fun?
I loved 8.
I found it very rewarding.
I still love 8.
And it was very fun. It was quirky. It had all the upside down and everything.
Yeah.
I was
The
just
gravity
enjoying
tracks
it the
and
whole time.
everything.
Yeah.
No, I love
I should
Mario
get it for the
Kart.
Switch. I really should.
I mean, I picked it up, but I think I picked it up because I wanted another Switch game, not because I wanted to play Mario
yeah.
Kart.
I feel like that's why a lot of people.
Well,
bought
I
it.
feel bad now because I bought it, and then I bought all the DLC for it on the Wii U, and then it's like,
Yeah, now it's out on Switch, and you paid $60 again.
Yeah.
And I think after Mario Kart, the next big thing was ARMS, which
Yes, which
That was
I never played.
I was excited for it.
I didn't buy it. I like Twin Tail. That's about it. I played.
I don't think there's enough content there.
I played the test punches. I really don't. I'm not into it. I don't like it.
I think that's, and maybe ARMS 2 will be good because
Yeah,
ARMS obviously sold well, sold over 1 million units.
It needs an ARMS 2. ARMS 2 I might jump in, but as far as ARMS, the test punches didn't sell me. I especially hate the motion controls, and that's like the base. That's like the whole
That's
point.
the
That's
whole
the way
basis.
to play it.
Yeah,
That's the way to
and
play it.
ARMS
I
feels
don't
like
like
a
it.
Wii game in 2017.
Okay.
Whatever you
No,
think.
no,
I think that's
I'll
I mean,
give
I
that
think
to you.
that's it. ARMS 2 in 2019, 2020, there's potential. But as it stands, I think it's overshadowed. It sold well because that's all that was out.
It sold well because people thought it was going to be really good.
I
Because they were
think,
touting it as like.
I think
this is
some
the
people
future
thought
of
it was
state.
the next Splatoon.
Well, it sold well for like a week, and then everybody just kind of fizzled on it.
Over 1 million units though, and the Switch has only sold maybe 6. You're still looking at a pretty high attach rate.
Yeah, but how
Yeah,
long
but-
did they keep playing it?
Yeah, and think of how many of those are just sitting on a shelf right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, not going to be
whatever. But after ARMS was Splatoon 2, which we already spoke about, and then it was
and then after that, I think it's
Mario and Rabbids.
yeah. I think it's King
Unless
Battle.
you Pokken.
Like,
And Pokken came after that. We'll skip Pokken.
Poken's Pokken again.
I haven't had a chance to play Mario and Rabbids, but
I've
that was,
seen a little bit of it, and what I've seen, I'm just in love with. It's an idea that shouldn't work, but it meshes pretty well. The story for it's actually kind of unique in how it gets set up.
I definitely like it. I mean, I own it.
I'm still picking it up before the end of the year, but I have not picked it up or played it yet. But
No,
it's
neither
basically it's Nintendo XCOM. It's the
Yeah.
next they Nintendo-ized fighting games, they Nintendo-ized shooters at Splatoon, and then the next thing they Nintendo-ized is XCOM. Now we just have to see what they Nintendo-ized next.
But Kingdom Battle, none of us have been able to play it.
Yeah, so not much to say about it.
Which sucks.
People
You get to play as a Roomba, so I like that.
People say good things about it. I hear a lot of things that the Rabbids are actually kind of funny and they're not like cringy. So
Yeah.
I have to see about that.
Yeah,
but
hopefully we'll be able to talk about it more later.
Like I said, it's like a super light story, but the setup's cool. It merges fine.
and
Yeah,
it's a new genre for the Wii U.
Yeah,
I don't think that we
RPG.
actually kind of talked, but it is. Yeah, it's a brand new genre that or not the Wii U, the Switch, I should say. Sorry, I'm tired, but
And for
also
people that don't know,
inebriated.
but regardless, it's something new. It's something different, and that's another thing. The Switch hasn't really had a massive genre build up like the Wii U did, because the Wii U had a ton of 2D platformers at first.
And then after that, I think the next big game was
Fire
FE
Emblem.
Warriors.
Fire Emblem,
Wait,
if you discount Pokken, which
yeah.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, Poken's Poken. It's
Poken's
again.
Pokken. It's the same game with 2 or 3 extra characters.
Yeah, that was it, right?
Pokken
I didn't think they
Electric
added
Boogaloo.
changed much. Not even really balance changes so much.
They added the arcade characters and the current like arcade
Oh
balancing.
yeah, so that's
state,
all they did. They were just like, here's
Yeah.
here's the final edition. Here you
And
go.
that kind of
Take
goes
it.
into, I know a lot of people who didn't own Wii U's want Wii U ports on the Switch, but
How many more of those do you really want when
How
you
many
rather
more-
want new games?
how many more are we going to really get?
I
Smash.
still want Smash.
Because we got the big
Smash is a
Smash is a
guarantee.
good contender.
Yeah.
And the reason is we still got that amiibo support, dude.
Put
And
Smash.
GameCube controller
they also
support
have
now.
And GameCube
with
controller support.
4.0.
You know, you're really setting it up. You're really setting it up.
Announced Smash at Tokyo Game Show. Put it out in like March.
And we're not going to get a Smash 5.
Not
for a long
anytime
time.
soon.
Not by
No.
2020. Sakurai?
Yeah.
I think he'll
He
still
always
work on it.
says this is the last one I'm doing, but then he makes the next
Well, yeah,
one.
but he has like physical problems. Like,
Yeah.
he's like basically killing himself.
But how fast did they turn around and make Smash on Wii U 3DS? I mean, that was...
They were put together though.
Oh god.
Yeah, but that was still like
after
a
Brawl
2 or 3
was
year
Brawl-
development cycle, maybe?
was Brawl 09 or 08?
Brawl came out in late 07, but Sakurai released Kid Icarus in 2012. Smash was out in 2014.
But to get back on the
Icarus
actual
was
Switch
small
games,
team.
as far as Fire Emblem Warriors, I think only me and Nathaniel have played
It's
it.
okay.
I think it's a...
I mean, it's just,
I barely played it, but it seems like a pretty good... like a higher tier Warriors game.
It's dumb action. And don't get me wrong, I didn't go into it thinking this is going to be the most amazing piece of
Fire Emblem material.
software ever made. It's dumb fun, and it works.
You just push buttons and you see numbers and you're enjoying it.
Yeah, just from a glance, it seems like a high tier Muso game. It's better than Muso All Stars, pretty much.
I mean, my only experience has been Hyrule Warriors, but
Oh, yeah.
I think it's still good. I've played a bit of the story mode. I've played a little bit of history mode. I let Rick play a bit of history mode. It's a good game, but it's at the end of it all. I think it's going to be overshadowed by what we're going to talk about in a moment.
Is
And later on, in
Game of the Year, Super Mario Bros.
And later on, I think in the long stream of things, it's just going to kind of be overshadowed by anything else on the Switch.
You mean just Fire Emblem Warriors?
Yeah.
I think ideally it's probably a good entry for like a spin-off for the Fire Emblem because you want to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
it's
definitely.
Big. It's getting big.
Fire Emblem's definitely... I mean, you had 3 major Fire Emblem releases this year.
Yeah, all Pokemon editions.
There's 3 major releases?
Heroes,
What was the-
Echoes, and Warriors.
Wait,
The mobile.
what was... Oh, Heroes.
was
Yeah,
mobile.
yeah.
And this
Well,
was
that's okay.
this was the first year I consider myself a true Fire Emblem fan. Because I got Echoes and Warriors on day one. I got the special editions of Warriors on day one. And I played through all of Heroes.
I've been a Fire Emblem fan for a while. I've played fan translations of like some of the originals. I played the original Western Fire Emblem, and so Warriors was just seemed like a cool fan service, and so I'm into it. And a lot of people really getting into Fire Emblem now, especially post Awakening.
I think Warriors
Yeah,
would be
Post
cool.
Awakening which is really cool to say, like the Post Awakening era.
And I think we can kind of go into that later with Fire Emblem Switch. But the biggie for software is obviously now Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
Which
and
is...
that's the next big one. Nintendo is competing with themselves for Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
That's solid. That's kind of awesome.
I look at my top games of the year, and it's like, yeah, okay, maybe Splatoon, maybe Zelda, obviously something like A Hat in Time, which I loved. But then I'm like, okay, what's gonna beat it? Oh, Super Mario Odyssey. Oh, it's Nintendo versus Nintendo. Well, this is over.
Yeah, what better thing can you say about yourself than you're competing with yourself for the Game of the Year?
Yeah.
You can't really say
Like,
something better about
It
yourself. than
just so happened 2 of the best things that we've ever made come out in the same
Yeah.
year, and they're like,
Like,
It's not a just so happened. This was obviously planned. This was them sort of kicking everything out that they could.
Zelda was their big launch game, and they wanted Odyssey to be the big fall game.
Yeah.
See, I haven't even gotten to play Odyssey yet. It's at my house waiting for me right now. Yeah, I got it today, but
Well,
I'm over here doing the podcast right now.
Out of the 4 of us,
Three
three
of
of
us
us own Odyssey
on
Yeah,
the day
and
it
the
came
only
out.
on the
reason-
day it came out.
And the only reason one of us doesn't, Jamie,
If I had a
doesn't
Switch,
own it.
I would have bought it.
the
Yeah.
only reason he doesn't have is because he doesn't have a Switch.
And the only
yet.
reason we haven't played it is because we were doing this.
Yeah.
So
And already I know it's gonna be.
Yeah,
it's going to be a
it's
fantastic.
You know what? It's going to be great. I'm going to call it Super Mario Sunshine 2, and I'm just going to enjoy
Yeah,
it.
I'm
lot of
gonna
are.
cut you because there are enough differences between those two games that is not the case.
Just the theme song alone is worthy of Game of the Year.
But I don't think we should talk about it too much because we haven't played
Yeah, there's
it.
not much to say about it. It's already beautiful. It's
And
already
then early impressions are, I mean, it's the highest ranking game on Metacritic.
Beautiful Boy certified.
Yeah,
But
beautiful boy, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful rating for the
Beautiful out of
Boys.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, without even playing it, beautiful rating.
So, but yeah,
Wonderful.
that's the big one.
And then on December 1st, coming up soon, we'll have Xenoblade.
Yes, and hopefully before that, Zelda DLC.
Hopefully, yeah.
Ballad of the Goddess.
Soon.
Hopefully we'll get that.
Soon is for Nintendo.
But there's literally nothing we can say about that. It's
Except we
soon.
hope it has more story. But and then Xenoblade December 1st.
And as far as Xenoblade, I think it's going to be great, but please
make it good.
Please, Papa Treehouse, Nintendo Treehouse, give me Japanese voice options. That dub,
I don't care.
That dub is awful.
Pre-order for the Japanese audio.
Please contribute on Kickstarter for the Japanese voice acting.
Please give the Japanese voice. Have you guys watched that last trailer for Xenoblade? That dub is awful. Like I'm someone that's everyone hates on dubs a lot, and I'm always someone like the dub's not that bad. Like I'm usually pretty good with dubs, but a lot of people really hate dubs. But even for me, Xenoblade's dub is awful. I can't stand it. I've never wanted Japanese
and
voices
that's
so bad.
part of the charm, kids. Regardless.
Now, how is that part of the charm?
Regardless, if Xenoblade 2 is actually a sequel to the original Xenoblade.
Wait, I remember, even you commented when we first saw that direct, even you said the dub was bad.
But yeah, the dub is bad, but I'm not going to sit here and complain.
It's not going to hamper his enjoyment.
The dub is so bad, like, it makes me cringe. I want to curl up into a ball and die. The dub is so bad.
But
and I love
hopefully
dubs.
It'll be a great game.
And I have no problem with subs. I love watching anime dubs and stuff though. And like I'm someone that loves dubs, and I can't stand Xenoblade. I can't.
Have they showed any substantial amount of Xenoblade 2?
I don't think so, but it's also
they showed like an hour of it.
But it's also a kind of game that's like you have to play 10 hours of it to really get a feel.
Well, true.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but if you hate the voice the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Xenoblade 1 is, 60, 70 hours?
Yeah,
I've played through it. I think you have.
Yeah, I've beaten Chronicles, but that game is fun voice acting.
And then X is just... I couldn't stand it. I played 5 hours.
I beat X. X is the best RPG with no story.
So, high hopes for Xenoblade 2. And I think it'll be a perfect closeout for 2017. You know... You've got a big Zelda, you've got big Mario, you've got big RPGs, you've got a Warrior spinoff, you've got an XCOM spinoff, basically.
Then they'll probably release a Zelda DLC at the end of December to cap the year.
I hope it's earlier.
Week before Christmas.
Whatever the Zelda expansion is, the Switch is going to have like a strong.
It's a strong first year.
Late November.
It's a strong first year.
And I think there's going to be a lot of Switch.
And we didn't even mention any. I mean, that's all big Nintendo stuff. We didn't mention Skyrim.
Or Doom.
Or Doom, which is coming. It's smaller indie stuff. Snipper Clippers.
And then,
I played a bit of that.
And then early next year is Octopath.
Octopath is coming.
It early?
I think it's early next year.
They haven't said it's early, have they?
Golf Story. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah, Golf Story.
I hear a lot of good things about Golf Story.
And
Stardew Valley's on Switch
Stardew Valley. Even I played Sonic Mania on it. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So... Lots of good stuff on the Switch.
The Switch has had the strongest launch year of all the modern systems.
And we're going to get a Pokemon.
Eventually.
Eventually.
I mean, but that's still, that's
coming.
unexpected.
And the SMT5 was just recently confirmed as a Switch exclusive, which I love SMT, so that I'm going crazy over that. I can't wait for SMT5.
Yeah, that's an exciting one.
And now we're going in for 2018 Switch titles to start to finish us off. Then we'll finish off with our weeks and stuff and what we're looking forward to and what we're doing. But for now, it's 2018 Switch games.
Wolfenstein 2. That's probably going to be the earliest one out the gate.
Maybe.
Right.
Or Kirby.
I'm looking for anything Kirby.
Kirby's whatever.
Personally, I don't really care about Kirby.
Kirby's is a solid entry, though.
Kirby's probably April or May.
Both Kirby and Yoshi I don't really care about. I'm mostly looking forward to SMT5. That's my big 2018 game.
That's huge for Nintendo to get and keep exclusive, which we all assume they would anyway.
Also,
yeah.
Also, after Monster Hunter World releases in January, maybe they'll decide to localize Monster Hunter XX for the West. And I'll be down for that.
We'll see.
I feel like Capcom would have said something by now.
But I mean, just looking at next year, and obviously they'll announce more. I think.
Yeah, Octopath is next year, maybe.
Octopath is definitely.
I think that's definitely that's a quarter 1, quarter 2.
Yeah, that's early 2018.
game.
Octopath and SMT5 are my big 2018 that word games right now.
I don't think Pokemon will be out in 2018.
I don't
No
want
way.
it to be out.
It won't be.
Yeah.
If it
I don't
is-
want it to be out.
If it is,
If it is, it'll be another.
it'll be really late.
Yeah, but I think, and I still hold out hope. Metroid Prime 4.
I don't think it or Pokemon hit
I
next
have
year.
heard that Pokemon, like, they have the new people working on Ultra Sun and Moon because they have, like, a solid basis to already start with, and they've had veteran staff working on Switch Pokemon for a while.
That makes sense.
I would still give them some credit for that, but I still don't want it in 2018.
Oh yeah, I think you should definitely.
They're
going
going
to
to take a year off.
Because here's the thing: they're going to be on a new platform. They're going to have a lot more possibilities. I want them to think through it.
and,
Yeah.
and it'll be a new generation.
Yeah, and well, that's the point. Like, I
It'll
want
be
them
Gen
to-
8.
I want them to come up and be like, "Hey, listen, you know, you like Pokemon. We
Totally.
like Pokemon version 2, which is Ultra Beasts. Let's not worry about that. Let's just get you to have a fun experience.
Yeah,
Catch them all."
and I think one thing I like about Pokemon, and some people dislike this, is its steady improvements, as opposed to one massive improvement.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
It works for Pokemon.
I am totally suckered into the Pokemon formula, so it doesn't matter what they do.
Yeah.
I'll always play it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
We could probably do an entire podcast on just Pokemon, I think. But I hope past Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, they really focus on post-game.
Yeah,
I think because we haven't had a good post-game since Gen 4.
we need a solid post game.
It's still nothing as strong as Emerald.
I would say, I mean, Emerald was good. I would almost say Platinum is just as good, if not better.
Platinum's second best, but nothing's still been as good.
Emerald was amazing. But anyway, yeah, Pokemon on Switch, I don't think it's going to be like super hot HD graphics like everybody thinks.
Doesn't have
it's
to
just
be.
going to be the
It
Sun
doesn't
Moon
have
engine.
to be.
It's going to be the
Yeah.
Sun
No,
Moon
I don't
engine
think it'll be
scaled
Sun
up.
and
No,
Moon
it better
engine.
not be. It better not be the same
It will
engine.
be.
I'll be fine with Sun and Moon fidelity just at a higher resolution, which if
That's
And,
what I
and not
really-
lag. And,
if you
Yeah,
Like more
I
than
think
two-person battle
they'll use the
today.
models for Sun and Moon and
It-
X and Y, but it'll be a new engine entirely.
if you've seen Citra footage of Sun and Moon like rendered at 1080p internally, it looks just fine. So
Yeah.
I'd be perfectly fine.
I think that's probably the most exciting thing. Because we took the jump from sort of Gen 5 to Gen 6 to 3D models officially. But I think going from potentially Gen 7, Gen 8 to HD models, that's going to be like...
Pokemon's going to look crisper than ever.
That's going to be the last big jump, though,
But
I think.
here's the real question: is my character going to get taller?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Awesome.
But I mean, even outside of Pokemon, we know they said Fire Emblem's coming next year.
And Fire Emblem, I'm afraid about that. Fire Emblem, SMT5, and Octopath. Those are my big 2018.
I think Fire Emblem back on sort of a home console is interesting. Because Fire Emblem is now popular, I think, enough.
It's certainly becoming.
I hope-
It's not niche. That's for sure.
I
It
really hope
exploded with Awakening, and it's just gotten bigger.
Yeah, I'm excited for Fire Emblem on Switch. I hope we see some of it soon. I think going into 2018, that's the one game we know of that's like, yes, I want to play that. I don't know if anybody else is that way, but that's, again, Fire Emblem fan
I'm
now.
certainly going to
It's
look
fine.
for the big ones, but I'm actually more interested in what they're going to do on a little scale.
What do you
Right.
mean by that?
Like
Virtual console.
Snipper
virtual
Clips too.
console, just like stuff that they add in.
I wouldn't think Virtual Console would be little scale. I would
Well,
say
no, what I
that-
meant, we're not doing $60 releases.
yeah,
is
it's
what
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
like-
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like
It's
we're
like
not.
budget.
Yeah.
Six, you know.
I'm really into them apparently adding online play to Virtual Console titles.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
They've mentioned something like I think it's like Super Mario Brothers, like
Cool, but I don't know if
arcade
that's
Mario
system
Brothers.
seller.
Well, it's-
Oh, no, of course not.
But it's going to give you something.
I
That's
don't
the
think
point.
anybody is going to buy any system
Well,
based on its back
First
catalog.
of all, it's also $300.
As soon
Yeah.
as if they put Super
it's gonna be a
Metroid
lot
on
of
it,
fun.
it'd be a system seller for me.
But it's going to be something like I want a lot of really good, like maybe not necessarily like new innovative stuff. I want stuff that's fun and like just that I can enjoy, and the fact that it's portable and like I can play with
Yeah,
my friends
I
and that
mean,
kind of stuff.
That's another thing. Portable
And
virtual console.
it doesn't even have to be like
Yeah, take it to
super
work and-
long games. Yeah,
Take it to
something
work and
fun.
play some Super Metroid on your lunch break.
Yeah, relive something and in pretty good quality and portable, and you can play it on your TV. And well, the thing I like about virtual consoles is like you know what you're getting.
Oh, yeah.
You're paying, you know what you're getting. You're not paying too much for it.
I feel like GameCube controller support is indicative of it.
Maybe.
Probably
But-
soon, right?
But you could have said the same thing in 2014 when Smash Brothers launched with it. On the Wii U.
Oh, but
I mean, again,
I
that's
feel
how
like-
that's how people complain about wanting to play Smash.
I feel like Reggie has hinted at GameCube Virtual Console for Switch. I feel like I've read that.
Maybe.
I'm sure he has.
That sounds vague.
He wore a
Or at
Metroid
least
pin
people
one year,
expected
guys.
it.
Maybe.
He wore a Metroid pin one year.
I'm excited. I think we could get Virtual Console next year.
And not just Virtual Console, but like smaller games. Like just games
Yeah.
that are like, let's just have fun. Let's just
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again,
I really enjoyed Kamiko.
last time I checked the eShop, number 1 game, Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Mario Odyssey. And that's before it came out, of course.
Yeah.
But Sonic Mania is doing well.
Yeah, like just those small games. You know, we're $30 and below.
Yeah.
Just something to eat on.
I have read lots of stories of indie games of them saying that they've sold the most on the Switch.
Yeah, I saw something like
yeah,
that
like
too.
I could see that because it's a portable. It's running at the same rate that pretty much everything else is.
And there's nothing else there.
Well, that too.
I mean,
But,
that's a portion of it.
But I mean, okay, let's just say it like this: there's not a lot of junkware on it. There's not a lot of.
true.
There's just not a lot of filler. So you go in and you're like, these are the only thing that's here are quality titles that passed.
Mhm.
You know,
That's
and then
true.
You're enjoying them.
And I hope that more people come in. I hope Nintendo kind of, not necessarily opens the
Well,
floodgates,
they've got
but lets more
Bethesda.
stuff in.
They've got Bethesda in.
Yeah, I mean, I would rebuy a Hat in Time on Switch.
Yeah,
I would.
we know
like
you
today.
I'm almost considering buying Sonic Mania, and I don't even like Sonic.
It's 5 hours of fun,
Yeah.
except that last level.
I just want everything on the Switch.
Yes, that's the name of this podcast. Now we want everything on this Nintendo Switch.
But as far as closing thoughts, pretty much on the Switch for me is that I think there's gonna be a lot of Switches under the Christmas trees this year.
Hopefully,
Yeah, if they get them out.
nah. I like the Switch. I think it's a good system. But after I finished Splatoon 2, up until recently when Fire Emblem came out, I didn't touch it. And I think that that's going to be the kicker, is can they keep the great software coming after
We'll see.
now? Basically.
You mean if they can keep it in your hands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, can I consistently be going back to my Switch?
With what we've mentioned for next year, you got to assume it's going to be paced out kind of how the big releases are this year, in all honesty.
Hopefully.
2-3 months between each of them, that's fine. You've got your indie stuff between.
Because the big titles are the ones that they expect pretty much everyone to pick up.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I mean,
And so, you know, and the space
Obviously.
in between would be like, oh, you know, you like JRPGs or you like whatever. It's like this is the couple months to do it.
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But
We haven't even talked the online service, the paid online launches
Okay, no.
next year.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true as well. And what are they going to launch that with?
Virtual Console.
now
No, they're
Oh,
gonna
God, no.
they're gonna
No.
launch paid online
No.
with Smash.
Yep.
No, I'm pretty sure they said that paid online will launch alongside Virtual Console.
Well,
They haven't mentioned
May,
Virtual
they
Console
did.
at all.
They mentioned
I'm-
that.
they- I'm pretty sure they said
haven't-
that.
They haven't mentioned what everyone's expecting, and that's GameCube Virtual Console.
I thought they
Well,
haven't
I don't
talked
think-
about
I
it
don't
I know
think
what-
anyway.
I know what he's talking about. Where they said you would get like a free downloadable game every month.
Yeah, like you'll get a free
yeah.
Virtual
But-
Console game every month.
But we've already got those arcade classics out.
Yeah.
Like $8 for Mario Brothers Classic. That could be what they go for. They may not ever actually officially launch the Virtual Console. They could just re-release everything as is.
I still think they're referencing Virtual Console.
I hope they do. But
I mean, they have to, right?
I just want a little filler, dude. Like
Even
it's
the
not even,
free-
it's not even gonna be hard on their end.
what do you guys want to see next year? Like wildest dreams?
Prime 4. I
Prime
think
4.
that's what we're
Okay,
all thinking.
okay. That hasn't been announced.
Hasn't been announced.
That's not been announced whatsoever.
Also, if we
Conduit 3.
like goodie
Whatever.
bag, whatever we want.
I would be down for
Conduit
Conduit
3.
3.
Conduit
I'll have to
3,
think.
Conduit Harder.
If I could have anything I wanted.
And I just broke it because we kind of got the big ones already.
Well, we know those.
See,
right?
the
We were
funny
expecting
thing about what's coming up is I pretty much got everything I want, really.
I mean, Zelda launched Mario
as
for
of right
Christmas.
now,
Yeah.
What we know.
Zelda launched
We
Mario
don't know where
for
they're going to
Christmas.
go with it. I guess
Pokemon and Metroid are coming. Fire Emblem's coming next year. What other big Nintendo stuff's left?
F-Zero.
Yeah, like if I could pick anything I wanted, I mean, there's not much I haven't gotten.
I kind of want a solid like party game.
The only thing-
Sweet.
Maybe.
The only thing they're not covering...
Mario Party 11.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
That doesn't use the car.
Yeah.
But like just something to have fun, like
Yeah.
nothing super serious. That's what I want.
And I think
But
that's
I
going to
could-
be the future as
I
well.
could enjoy a really cool Animal Crossing something.
Well,
I mean,
hopefully.
I know we're doing that moving to mobile.
A real
but
Paper Mario. There we go.
A
real Paper Mario.
Nat,
Don't
I
hold
know
your breath.
we haven't...
They're dead.
You haven't mentioned it yet, but the game that Retro's working on, or
Maybe.
yeah, Retro.
Right, whatever.
That's what I know. That's what you want to see.
Retro, yeah. I mean, Donkey Kong Country
Because
Tropical
they've been
Freeze
silent
Donkey
since...
Kong Country Tropical Heat.
came out. It came out in early 2014. It was obviously done.
So
at
they've
the
been
end of
silent for
2013.
almost 4 years.
4
at
years
this
now.
point.
And we still don't know what. And they're not doing Prime 4.
Big.
I hope it's good. That's one big one. I'd love to see a third Donkey Kong Country game for the modern era. Nintendo Kart. I don't want it to be Mario Kart 9. I want it to just be Nintendo Kart. Smash Brothers.
That would be a lot better. Nintendo Kart.
I think that's what they're going
Well,
for.
they kind of attempted that with. Is Link not a DLC character for
Link,
8?
Link,
Wasn't he?
the Inklings, Isabelle, and
They
Villager.
had that weird
in 8.
Mercedes-Benz DLC.
So I think the next one, maybe Mario
They're-
Kart 9 will
I think
still
they're
have Mario
expanding.
focus. But I think Nintendo Kart's in the future. I think Smash Brothers
They're
Because
going
Fort
the thing
would
about,
be nice.
The thing about Nintendo is like it's got such a large range of characters that they can just start picking up new things.
Yeah.
If they
They're
wanted
going to
right?
merge Mario Kart and Sonic All-Stars Racing.
I'd be okay with that.
Mario
For one,
All-Stars.
for
Mario
a
Kart Stars.
one-off. Again, party games. Mario Kart, Smash
Because
Brothers.
I want something that's not super serious.
I want something other than a Wii U port
Yeah.
and shovelware.
Yeah. I want quality fun games, dude. I know it's asking for a lot.
Nintendo Land 2.
It's funny that it's hard to think of what you want out of your dream grab bag because you already have everything.
Well, and I think, and at least for us,
Well, because you're so blown away by it. You're
Yeah.
like, I don't know what we can top this.
and also for us, what do? We play a lot of single-player games.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that-
obviously, what
you
we
know what
want
we-
are more party games,
Well,
and that's what the Switch
You know what I would
lacks.
actually like? Actual solid single player games that aren't gonna die and get loot boxes and multiplayer.
Well,
And I think we're doing
that.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
mean, I want like quality single player games. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, personal preference, right? You give me the next Disgaea, I'm probably gonna buy it on it. Like, and I don't even play them for more
Yeah.
like 200 hours. I mean, come on.
More, I only played 200.
I only played 200. No,
200.
just
Jesus.
something fun, just something enjoyable. I can like mindlessly experience. Maybe not
Well,
super
pick
deep
up
in-
Warriors.
And
You know? Yeah, that's-
and more obscure stuff, you know?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
SMT.
like things that I didn't just
SMT
wow
5 is, yeah.
Just wow
definitely.
me, and not even like this has to be the best graphics or the best coolest thing. Just like give me something that's fun. And
I
give me something
know.
that's unique.
I thought of my dream game. I want an Switch Etrian Odyssey.
Really? That's your
You'll see-
dream?
You'll see that.
Of stuff that isn't announced. Like just trying to think of something.
You'll see that when
Switch
Atlas
Etrian.
decides to let the 3DS die. They
Yeah,
won't.
I'm surprised no one said this one.
Something from Atlas for the Switch that isn't SMT5 because we already know about it.
I'm surprised no one has said Bayonetta 3.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
that.
What
yeah,
sold
there-
on
there-
that one? Sorry,
there.
guys. Backing up. It was a good
Yeah.
podcast. We're out. It was a great one.
Bayo 3. I
I
know.
feel like you'll see it next
Yeah,
year. I
there
really
we
do.
go.
I would like it. Yeah.
And I think
it's been time.
I think it'll be a Switch port. I mean, Bayonetta's kind of Nintendo-ish now.
Oh, you think they port too?
I don't-
You
I don't-
said port.
I mean, Switch exclusive.
I think it'll be a Switch. I think
Okay.
Bayo 3 will be a Switch exclusive. I don't think they'll port 2 at all.
Port two's okay where it is. Just leave it.
Yeah.
Just don't even worry about development time.
Put 3 on the Switch and call it a day.
Yeah.
And then you have your best game on the Switch, maybe. I don't know.
You have a solid game. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, make it as good as Bayo 2 and you've got a
Bayo 2.
10 out of 10.
Except for that weird mecha battle thing at the end.
Don't worry about it.
One had the bullet game at the very end.
And maybe a new Zelda down the line on the Switch. A
yeah.
new Zelda entirely on the Switch.
Yeah, in like 4 or 5 years at the end of it.
Oh, hold up. I don't know if I can go that long. Those encyclopedias only last a couple of days.
I
guarantee
pretty much
that's
all
what
I
it
have to
is.
say about the Switch, though.
I wouldn't mind,
gotta start
I wouldn't mind
wrapping it up.
another, and I know we'll get it, another 2D Mario.
Yeah, we'll probably...
I don't care if it's new Super Mario
A
Bros.
solid
Switch.
2D Mario, dude. Yeah.
Or Super Mario Maker 2?
They'll just port Mario Maker.
I don't think so at
Yeah,
this
no.
point.
Mario Maker is another thing I would like to see. It'd be great for the Switch's
I
touch
think
screen.
that they'll
What
just
more
do a
touch
sequel.
screen would-
What more
to-
can you really do to Mario Maker
Well,
besides expand the tool set?
I'm not a game designer, so... I
3D
leave that...
Mario Maker. So
I leave that... Yeah,
you can cash the check right now, Nintendo.
it's $500 because it's called a development kit.
Shut up.
I think that's a good wrap up to the Switch overall.
Yeah, I like the Switch. I like the software. Breath of the Wild is probably one of the best games of all time.
I like what I played. Zelda's fun. It's cool.
That's
I'll buy
amazing.
Zelda.
I just like fucking.
Oh,
fish
Jamie's
bitches
gonna buy Zelda. We succeeded.
We could do a whole podcast on Zelda, probably, but we
could.
won't.
and my fish bitches.
No, I need to play and beat it first.
I can't believe Jamie's gonna buy Zelda though.
Well, knowing you, it'll take like 2 years
Shut
to
up.
play it and beat it.
Come on.
But
It took me 4
I think
months
we're
for
good.
Persona 5.
But to close us out, what's going on with everyone? What are you looking forward to? What are you gonna do? I'm gonna be playing lots of Odyssey. That's pretty much all I care about. Right
Lots
now.
of Odyssey and some Fire Emblem Warriors here and there.
I'll probably drop 5 hours into Odyssey and never touch it again.
That seems about accurate, but that's good for you.
And
Yeah, that's pretty good for
What
me.
about you, Jamie?
Immediate plans. Finish up Shovel Knight DLC. I just need to get through Plague of Shadows because it's a freaking chore. But
I'm about to cut somebody.
Yeah, he's about
Anyway,
to trigger me in the thing.
I'll finish Plague of Shadows, jump into Spectre of Torment, and maybe throw in a new game plus of Evil Within 2. It's a good game.
I'll try to devote some time to playing my games that I'm trying to play on PC.
I'll probably continue playing a bunch of Overwatch as well, along with Odyssey, and I'm gonna try to catch up to Boku no Academia, which I just started. That's pretty much gonna be my schedule until December 1st when I pick up.
Yep, it's Odyssey. Odyssey's probably the biggest thing right now.
Oh, for sure.
Surprisingly, November's kind of light.
Yeah, it's just
Well, it's
on
giving us time to
Battlefront.
munch down on what we bought.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Besides, I forgot I have Pokemon on order.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I'll be playing that in November.
That's a given.
I'm probably not going to open mine.
It'll be worth more.
You didn't
It
even
will
finish
be.
Sun.
It will be. No, I didn't. Nah, I played 5 hours of Sun, and I didn't touch.
You just got past the tutorial.
I bought the $70 version too.
That's your own fault.
Ah.
But yeah, Pokemon's coming up, but next month is...
Next month is light. It's COD. It's Battlefront. It's Pokemon.
Okay, cool.
Those
So
are
just
the-
Pokemon.
So Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pirate Battlefront and just play the single player. That wraps it up for me.
I think my biggest concern going forward is just keeping the momentum.
You know what? I'll give one more thing I want to see. Nintendo Creators Club
Just gone?
Just act, dude. Like, let people play their games.
Yeah, it's
That'd be
really
nice.
It's
That'd
really
be nice.
bad.
Hey, guess what? You might be selling.
And we got a copyright claim.
We probably did just by speaking about this. What are you talking about? They mentioned Mario.
we hummed the Mario theme, and now we've lost all our rights.
Last word for you, Jamie?
No, I mean, Switch is fun. I'll buy one.
Yeah, I mean, I think your opinion might be more valuable than ours because we've played so much Switch.
I mean, we've got
And let the record show I didn't really want to play Zelda, but I mean, it's fine. It's fun.
I mean, we have a very wide range of customers, in the group of us.
Yeah, niche weeboo, AAA, whatever, and whatever Rick is anymore.
Super weeb.
I'm a game slut.
And then I am the true gamer.
Nintendo
No,
fanboy.
/r/true gamer.
Listen, I'm the true gamer here.
But I mean, I think we just have varied opinions that really cover.
Yes, we do.
So that's the important part.
And that's why you should watch more of us.
Or listen to us anyway.
And this has been the Beautiful Boycast, and I'm Rick, the pretty and smart one. And Nathaniel over here is the tall and married type.
I am the one who's having trouble forming sentences, and I really want to play Breath of the Wild again.
Nathaniel's drunk and
Do you
wants to
really?
play Odyssey.
I want to play Breath of the Wild. I want to have a lobotomy and play it for the first time again.
Yeah, that'd probably be
I mean,
more enjoyable.
He
Yeah.
Well, he watched me play it, so it's the same thing.
And Dakota's the rebel pretty boy. What do you have
I
to
guess.
say
I
to
don't
close
know.
out?
He's going to go home, play 5 hours of Odyssey, and then lose the cart.
No, I like them. They're nice.
You didn't have to say that.
And Jamie?
No, no.
The awkward trap pretty boy?
Yeah.
Beautiful boy?
Thanks for listening, or not.
Yeah, thanks for listening to our first ever pilot podcast.
Sorry, it sucks.
Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about
fucking with
next.
the
Let us know which one of us you want to die.
It'll be...
Yeah, it's Danganronpa.
It'll be Jamie.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
They're probably mad at the dogs. That's gonna be hard to edit
Everyone
out.
comment
2
how much you
hours.
hate Jamie
Oh,
out of 10.
Christ.
Goodbye. I
Yeah.
want to have sex with Marina.
All right. That's
Well,
getting
there's another
cut.
cut.
No,
We
that's
just lost all our ad revenue.
That's not getting cut at all.
Um,
Excuse me while
Wait,
I
how old
pour
is
some.
she?
What?
Old enough.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
she's old enough, but excuse
She's a squid.